Hang on. Just got a little crick in my neck. Good crick. I guess it's nothing to crack. So, this is my review on the 1999 flick, Mystery Men, that Ben Stiller movie that is just a piece of shit for some reason. Luckily, I have good news. This film flopped at the box office and didn't do well here. Bad news is, this got a huge cult following when it came straight to video. And to this date. So I'm going to break that delusion of those delusional bastards thinking that this film is actually funny, or charming, or likable, or visually interesting. Or even a good story, or even watchable or engaging. That's right. Everything that those things I checked off of, this film has none of that. Yeah, 9 for 1999, the effects weren't good. The effects are pretty shitty. Like, the CGI is very bad. And so if the costume designs and set design look dated. Like, maybe if this came out in 1989, this would be very visual. I could see why people would think this has a very visually interesting. The designs are interesting, not the visuals though. Probably because the only thing that's good about this is actually the designs. The designs on the characters are interesting, but they're lacking detail. Probably because they ran out of money, I guess. I don't know. I didn't look at the behind the scenes why the film looks like garbage. Like actual pieces of shit garbage that you find in the dumpster. The only person who would find this interesting is my friend Bob the bus driver, who's a dumpster diver. And who would actually think the film is actually good. Because he found it in the dumpster. Because he's a dumpster diver. Dumpster divers are not the best, usually not the best critical, analyzed critics when it comes to movies. They usually have their heads shoved up in the ass. I'm not saying Bob the bus driver is one of those people, but I'm not saying he isn't. Hi, Bob the bus driver. If you're watching this, I'm calling you Bob the bus driver because I'm separating you from Uncle Bob, who I'm not saying doesn't have his head shoved up his ass, but I'm not saying he doesn't. So, yeah, this is what you get, Uncle Bob. If you don't like that comment, this is what you get for insulting my review on My Girl, the first one from 1991. For not saying, oh, you could have done a better job. Well, you wish you could have done a better job if you ever committed it to anything once in your fucking life, Uncle Bob. But you have it. You're just a quitter. You quit on everything. That's probably why you shit on the floor in my house. Lydia know it was you. Everyone, all three of us know it was you. You're just lying to yourself to make yourself look good and important. And you never worked in the Twin Towers. You've only visited there. Either you got confused from the information that was downloaded, that was in your head, or you purposely, unconsciously lied. I'm guessing it's the second one, because I'm also guessing you unconsciously lied about shitting on the floor in our house. And Lydia had to clean it up. Lydia's my stepmom, by the way. And because Lydia knows it wasn't me, because she was questioning or both of us, me and my biological dad. If you people wondering if it's my biological dad or my stepdad who's in these videos for new people. So yeah, I'm roasting you on YouTube, so that's how it's going. This is how it's going to go down. I'm not just roasting the movie, I'm roasting you too, Uncle Bob. You brought this on yourself by insulting my girl review, saying I could have done a better job and breaking my confidence. What little I had. So ha! Who is the bitch now? I am. And you're the pussy. Oh boy, I feel like I'm going. I really. And then again, I'm wondering if I should. I can't edit this out because I don't. I made it when I made the show. I made a commitment not to edit my videos. So yeah, if he doesn't want to see me again, though, yeah, guess what? Heck, I said words for scenes by Auntie Sue on this channel, and she still loves me, and so does Uncle Gary. So, and so yeah, maybe it is Uncle Bob's turn. He needs to get shit on for once, because he hasn't learned anything in his life. In case you don't want to know who Uncle Bob is, Uncle Bob used to be married. Well, technically he's still married, but he hasn't been lived with Auntie Patty for 5 years, who is my two favorite cousins, and also my two best friends, Deanna and Alyssa, who I have a picture on my YouTube show link right now. That is on YouTube. Yeah, those two girls that I'm right in between, that's my cousin Deanna and Alyssa. The tall one's Deanna, and that was at her wedding day, and also the little one's Alyssa. Why haven't I got divorced? I don't know. It's the Uncle Bob can't trust what he says because he'll obviously give you false information most of the times, like 90% of the times, and every so often he'll give you the truth answer. Or you think it's the truth. I don't know. He could be giving false information 100% of the times. Dad thinks this. I think this. Everyone who, and also Lydia loves Uncle Bob, but she thinks she's a bit of a leech when he comes over, because he just feeds off him, he just brings off the worst in me, and, she used the word, I quote, she says how she loves Uncle Bob, but she's a fucking leech, Lydia said. Last time, she said it last time he came over here after he left. And then she discovered shit on the floor. It was big, she's described it very big and firm. Like this big, she said. And it was firm. And I almost threw up. That, when I was doing a review in my early reviews, and I said, you remember when Lydia came in, Lydia came in when I was talking about my problems after I didn't finish doing a review. And remember when I was doing another review and I was about trying not to throw up because of something Lydia says? Yeah, this is why I was almost trying not to throw up. This is that reason. My big brother AJ, who's 2 years older than me, he found it hilarious. Why hear a story? Uncle Bob's doctor said he doesn't even be on antipsychotics because he made that decision. Assuming he went to the doctor because we don't know. And he also thinks that it was an army of bees in his house, in his walls, when really there was just a few bees because he's delusional. And Dad could hear on the person on arguing with Uncle Bob, telling the truth that there's not an army of bees in the walls. And basically he's just cuckoo and delusional. Psychotic. Literally bonkers. So, yeah. It feels good to talk about all this stuff, get all this anger out of my chest, because, he apologized to me, and then he took back his apology because he thought it was a bad example. What's a bad example, Uncle Bob, is you thought you would be the bigger man by taking back your apology. You would be the bigger man if you just kept didn't take back the apology, but just leave the apology be for getting me worked up. And then laughing and walking away like a jackass. An unsympathetic jackass towards people. Oh. So, yeah, So, yeah. Well, I think I got all of my fucking anger out. Now I have, after saying that word. After saying dropping the F-bomb on YouTube. Now I have. So... Little does he know, Uncle Bob knows that with me and Dad, Lydia, I actually considering not invite him over to my house anymore as long as he lives, or I live. Depending who dies first. If I die in a horrible car accident, he dies of old age, which, because he does take care of himself, and, yeah, which the second one's more likely to happen, because I know him, and know how he thinks, and he's like, he has the brain of a walking trash can. Basically. Old-fashioned trash can you saw when your grandparents were around. Your great-great-grandparents. Those silver trash cans that you had to lift the silver can up and then put the silver can down, and you put trash back in the silver can. That trash can. That's the trash can I'm talking about. The old-fashioned trash cans. The great ancestor trash cans. That's the kind of mindset he has. Our great ancestors trash can. The first generation, as far as I know, that's the first generation of trash cans. Okay, now let's talk about the movie. So, the movie's about this guy. Let me make things perfectly clear. There's only one character in this film that's actually funny. Yeah, the film's supposed to be a comedy. Parody of superhero genre. Like the framing character comic it's based off of. And this is not a problem. It is not funny. Nor does it feel like a parody. This feels like some never-ending hellhole abyss that you'll throw up in, and the vomit will come out of your ass and eye sockets. It's not a pretty picture. Trust me, what I pictured. So, and you'll end up vomiting more out of your mouth because the vomit went into your mouth, so it'll come in out. Upchuck, if you will. So, that's what vomit upchuck means. Upchuck vomit means the same thing. Okay? In case you don't know. So, the only character that's actually funny and charming and likable and relatable is Captain Amazing. And he gets killed off in the third act and has barely any screen time and gets barely any fleshed out, but gets the most fleshed out of any Ben Stiller's underdog characters. So Captain Amazing's character arc is his ego has gotten the best of him and his career as a superhero, and he's worried about he's not as popular as he used to be. Because all of his supervillains, real supervillains, good ones, are behind bars. The A-list supervillains behind bars, and his favorite one including. So he goes, uses his secret, as a secret identity. He, goes into the files of his secret favorite supervillain that he's ever fought. And, does the paperwork, and he's set free and on the streets again. And as Captain Amazing identity, he goes to his house, hopefully to have one good fun match like the glory days, but then ends up getting drugged and falling asleep. And then getting hooked up to a machine that will just take over the world and disintegrate all of the flesh on his body when it gets turned on. Damn, they didn't saw that coming. And anyway, so Ben Stiller's, who plays Captain Amazing basically can tell who falls lots of inspiration from Superman, but it's basically a corrupt, greedy Superman. And Ben Stiller's characters and his group are a bunch of knockoff versions of the mutants, as in the X-Men from the comics. Marvel and DC. So, you really didn't thought I would pick this out, so not only that you have, so one DC Perry, and all the other ones are several Marvel Perrys. Oh, it's almost like, and it gets better. Our main character, the Flaming Comic from the Flaming Comic book run, is nowhere in this. They just wiped him out of existence. I did that because there was something wrong with the camera, as in he doesn't exist in this continuity. So, the Flaming Comic, who, in my opinion, is my favorite character in the comic run, because he is absolutely funny. I think 90s Jim Kay could have brought this character to life. Today's Jim Kay, oh god, no, he cannot do it. It has to be someone funny still. Ron Reynolds could do it, but he's dead. Paul Rubin could do it, but he's in this movie, but he doesn't play the Flaming Comic. No, he plays the Stinker. That's what his serial name's, the Stinker. And guess what it is? His superpowers. Flatulence, as in farce, passing gas. And that's also his comedic trait. That is literally the only quirk to his character he has. Oh, he also talks in this really annoying Adam Sandler voice. It is actually batshit insane annoying. And he's in a good chunk of the film. He's in from the beginning, middle, and end, and he's one of the main characters. So is Ben Stiller, he's one of the main characters too. And the Shuffler is, that's his name, the Shuffler, who's a good actor. He was in Pleasantville, and he played the husband in Pleasantville that was a wife to Maguire's fake mom, because he was in he was living in a TV show, and got zapped into the television. Long story short, that's a short version of Pleasantville, but I'm not going to dive into that too much into it because I'm going to save that to another review. That's actually a good movie. Go check that out. It doesn't suck. This film does suck hard balls. And, so, let me get this straight. They turned down a guy called the Waffler, who, I kid you not, his superpower is a waffling iron. But they hired the stinker on the team who his powers is farts. The Waffler sounds a much more useful superhero than the stinker. Why not have him on the team? And he's actually funny. He's actually funny. I'm not kidding. Get this. All the characters, when they try and get new recruits, to stop the villain and bring him into justice that kidnaps Captain Amazing and is going to kill Captain Amazing, and then try and solve the mystery of why Captain Amazing is missing, and solve the mystery by rambling stubbornly in the room that he is, and then accidentally setting off turning the wrong switch and disintegrating Captain Amazing. Paul Rubin does that, the stinker. And he yells, "Meet the Captain Amazing Day!" That's his voice. I kid you not, it's actually screeching more high pitched than it fucked up my vocals trying to do that. It's more like, "Meet the Captain Amazing!" That's how the voice is. I'm not kidding. Dad, I'm trying to give an impersonation of what Paul Rubin's voice is in Mystery Man. So, I'm basically, that's why I did that high-pitched, annoying voice. I'm perfectly fine, okay? I'm just saying how bad this film is, and that they're going to hear a lot of that in the film. Okay? That's the last time I'm going to do that, okay? Because I think I nailed it that time, okay? I know, I'm sorry, I had to do that because I need to, people understand of what voice they're going to hear. But that's the last time I'm going to do it, okay? Love you. I'm going to talk in my normal voice from now on, okay? I love you too, Dad. And, you're going to hear that throughout the 2 hour run. I think it's a little over 2 hours. This film, or at least 2 hours of this, I think. I can remember, I don't remember the time, but if this feels long, because Paul Rubin is so fucking annoying. I hate this role that he did. And he's a good comedian. He played Pee Wee Herman. I mean, well, maybe that's not the best choice, but he's usually funny. I mean, I thought he was funny in Pee Wee Herman. I mean, he didn't do an annoying voice like that. I mean, he did a bizarre voice, but not making your eyes bleed. I mean, eyes and ears bleed. Make your eyes and ears bleed because it was so annoying. Ben Stiller. Let's talk about Ben Stiller. This is the worst thing I've ever seen him done in his career, and this is the worst thing I've ever seen Paul Rubin done in his career, and this is the guy plays the shuffler. This is the worst thing I've ever seen him done in his career, and I've seen him done in I remember seeing him kind of not good stuff, but, I can pick on top of my head, but, The Bowler. She is cool. She's a likable character and a charming character. Her and Captain Amazing are the only thing that's likable and charming about this film. But she's not funny. They make her way too serious to be funny. They make her a goth, and I guess we're supposed to find goths funny. But I don't find goths funny. I just find them like every other character, like every other people. I just think like every other people. So I don't find goths funny. I mean, I guess we're trying to poke fun of goths. I don't know. I'm not sure what's supposed to be funny about her. Maybe that because she's the only competent fighter out of the group that can actually fight bad guys and does all the work, then maybe that's supposed to be funny, but that's not funny, that's just cool. And this makes and realize how much the other guys suck. And the other guys get their act together by the third act out of nowhere. Except for Ben Stiller. Like, they can finally be competent out of nowhere except for Ben Stiller. And I'm going to get to why. Because Ben Stiller, in some point in the film, falls in love with this girl, and she makes him drop the tough guy act. And he does, really honestly, because he just loves her that much, and so she doesn't believe that he's actually a dangerous person, or has temper issues, or any of that stuff, or has any power. So, but when his girlfriend gets kidnapped, about to be killed by the bad guy, he says his line, "Rage taking over," and the bad guy has heard this before, and it never works. And he always gets his ass kicked whenever he says "rage taking over." And one of what he says the second time, the bad guy says, "This I have heard before. I'm not impressed." He says, like, "I'm not impressed." And then Ben Stiller says the second time, "No, rage really, really taking over." And his eyes are all getting veiny, and he just kicks the shit out of the guy. Like Wolverine style, because he's a Wolverine knockoff, actually. Incompetent Wolverine, actually. So, and this is the only time when so it is actually a cool scene, so